Before this video starts, I want to make a big disclaimer that a lot of this video's like video and what's going to be shown is from different people. So I won't only just credit it in the video, you'll see their name pop up on like the left or right side, but I will also put it in the description. So yeah, please go show the original people some love. But anyways, let's like actually talk about the video topic. I wanted to basically make a video on creepypastas, more specifically like the creepypasta fandom as a whole. More like the fanfics and stuff. You know what I mean? You got stuff like you got your normals, like you got your disciples. You have Jeffy Killer, Fat Man, Ben on Fire, and this fucking abomination. But I'm not going to really talk about these guys, except for two, but we'll get to them later. Huh? Anyways, without further ado, let's die. Let's get scared. I don't know. My uncle scares me. Okay, so I wanted to briefly touch upon the main man himself, Jeff the Killer. In short, Jeff the Killer is a story about a boy who gets bullied by a couple of neighborhood kids. This eventually leads to a huge fight inside of a birthday party. Jeff then gets burnt alive and has to go to the hospital to get his face fixed, where he then gets a squad kill and kills his entire family. There's a shit ton of videos online saying why the story is bad. It's an obvious power fantasy. Jeff gets some anime type fighting moves, and I'm not even kidding. Pile drives one of the kids eventually. The bullies kickflip a fence to get inside the party, which is close to humanly impossible. And more stuff in this leaked diary of a 2014 stuff. So, looking at it now in 2024, it's obviously a garbage story, but back then, 2011, this story was crazy big. Like, it had so much fanfare to the point where there were shitty games, there were cosplay, there was art, and the best part, the OCs and fanfics. Dude, Jeff was so big to the point where he was on the same level as Slenderman. Yes, who can forget? Guys, always remember, there are two evils in the world, eldritch horrors and teenagers! But before I end this part and move on to, the main topic of this video, I kind of feel like it's mandatory to touch upon the Jeff the Killer image. If you've been on the internet at all lately or a few years back, you would know that there's a huge search for the image's origins. Well, I won't fully delve into the topic as it's a huge rabbit hole, but in short, the origin has flipped from a girl on 4chan to Japanese message boards and such, you know the rest. Honestly, as much as I'd love to see this uncovered, I really hope the person in the photo is okay and is living their best life. But yeah, anyways, that's really it. Transition.
Somebody say, hey, we want some penis. Hey, we want some gay sex.
So I couldn't find any like Jane the Killer videos for the background, so have Jeff the Killer and Eyeless Jack being boyfriends. Anyways, Jane the Killer. Oh, Jane the Killer. Where do I start? A paragraph. I'll start with the paragraph. Yes, I'm serious. Jane the Killer is probably the first thing that came to your mind when I said creepypasta fanfics. And her story, her super epic lore to rival the likes of Five Nights at Freddy's. She hates Jeff the Killer. So what she does is she kills his victims before he gets there out of rage. But it's okay, because she envisions her victims as Jeff. That was it. It was all it took for people to take Jane and go wild with the story. It was a grocery store list size of a story. And yep, you bet your sweet ass there was fan art and fanfics about Jane. I just have one question though. How the hell do you have beef with a guy who looks like he gets his groceries at Hot Topic? Actually, you know what? This piece of art is actually going to segue into our next topic. Let's get to her. Fuck it. is what every 14-year-old girl who read the Jeff the Killer creepypasta turned into. Yeah, her story is so bad to the point where if you go into the wiki for creepypastas and search up Nina the Killer, it gives you a warning to not write like this story. How do you make such a bad story to the point where the wiki themselves wants you to not read it? Anyways, Nina the Killer starts with an 11-year-old girl who transfers to a high school. Okay, sure, let's go with that. But anyways, Nina is then faced with 3 bullies who all have knives and put her and her brother in peril. But this time it's even worse since they're not even so bad it's funny like the OG Jeff the Killer story. Also, I wanted to highlight the sentence, but she had to admit that her killer side was extremely good. God, I love 2010's Edge. Anyways, after getting home, Nina went upstairs, and Jesus H. Christ, this would do wonders at a Thanksgiving. She had several Jeff posters, Jeff clothing, some Jeff notebooks, Jeff dolls, and Jeff stuffed animals. She took a doll from her closet and put it on her bed. Anyways, apparently Jeff the Killer is a global icon across the globe for him to have a shit ton of merchandise. Moving on. Anyways, Malcolm and Claudia are found unconscious, but nobody knows who did it. So, since it was on the first day of school, which is odd, since on the first day of school, wouldn't they showcase the entire school's layout before anything? I apologize for taking it seriously and keep pausing the story, but I'm trying to read in the perspective of someone who would have seen this on the front page of creepypasta.com. Anyways, Nina opens her locker and finds a note that says someone knows what she did. Ooh! They didn't leave a name. Nina then took a knife from the kitchen and hid it. That should be insanely hard to do in my opinion, since knives bulge like crazy, but okay. Anywho, Nina's mother sees that it's getting late, so she proceeds to ask Nina to look for Chris. I forgot to mention, Chris is her brother. Nina then asks a couple of Chris's friends, finding out that a black-haired girl took him. So, instead of calling the police like a normal person, she goes into her room and grabs her knife. I will kind of give the story that, as 11-year-olds aren't the smartest people out there, but why didn't she just tell her mother? She goes out searching for him when suddenly, and I am not kidding when I say this, a car drives up to her and throws him out onto the ground. Again, the bullies from Jeff the Killer are more realistic compared to this. This is just... wow. Again, instead of telling her mom, she brings Chris to the hospital and then calls her mom. After that, Chris is back from the hospital instantly the next day because, for some reason, Chris has a superpower to just heal off being thrown from a moving van instantly. Okay. Nina then takes off school to take care of him, eventually going back to school and getting another note, reading along the lines of, "I'm sorry about your brother, I hope he recovers. You must never think you're alone. I'm here. I'll be your friend." And Nina suddenly blushed. Wow. The suspense is killing me. I already know since I've read this before, but it's practically laughing at you for thinking who it could be. Time goes by as Nina arrives to school on picture day, and gets ready with this outfit. A short black skirt, black stockings with deep red stripes, and a bloody red ribbon. A sleeveless t-shirt that has black and blue stripes, and lastly, a purple hoodie, who reminds her of Jeff the Killer. Okay, because everyone with a hoodie is Jeff the Killer. Got it. She goes to school and, yep, confronts the 3 bullies she went John Wick on, and then...
Round 2. Fight!
Nina then takes the first hit, wham! Immediately on the ground. Then Chris gets up in the arm of Malcolm, but Nina tries to her hardest to get up, but blam! Another hit for our girl. Claudia then looks down and exchanges some words before pulling out a... holy shit! Pulling out a gun and shooting her! But of course, Nina, our girl, pressed X to dodge and weaves that bullet easily. Because everyone knows that children can dodge bullets and also use guns easily. I mean, that's what Fortnite's for, right?
The fuck you say to me, you little...
Nina then ran to an abandoned house nearby. It's locked, so she decides to climb up the stairs. I think they forgot something, or I'm reading it wrong, but that's what it says. But anyways, 3 bullies, and I quote, tried to shoot her with a lot of bullets, but they couldn't successfully shoot her. So these kids are basically military operatives because they not only have what's written to sound like a assault rifle each, but also haven't went deaf from being near repeated gunshots. And also, how did 3 of you not hit a single bullet on an 11-year-old? Whatever. Claudius says probably the second dumbest dialogue in this story. Nina, are you gonna stay here? Did you forget what I did to your little brother, you idiot?
Man, it's totally not like you guys just opened fire for her literally coming here like a paragraph ago, but it's alright.
Nina then finds an iron rod and goes full 2014 edgelord power fantasy whatever. She dodges even more bullets because I think the trio has to have practically infinite ammo because of how much they've been shooting for the last 5 paragraphs. And Nina must be a pro at like Toho or something with how she can dodge everything with ease. She caves in her bullies with that iron rod and kills them all. She turns to her brother and they start to run home. Their mother, seeing Nina entirely covered in blood, does nothing and never questions it. Them kids, you know what I mean? Just always being covered in blood. You know, kids. Nina then writes a note that we don't know of. Just some mystery, I guess. I don't know. So I'm gonna pretend it's the B-movie script, because imagining her recite it in her head, doing all of these stunts, is just so funny to me. Nina then wakes up at 3 in the morning, and goes downstairs to down vodka, like an entire bottle of vodka. She then goes searching for bleach, and you already know where this is going. And of course, Jeff the Killer shows up, and he basically lights Nina on fire, and makes her channel her inner spring trap. The neighbors and her parents put her out and get her into the hospital. After a month of recovery, Nina's family visits the hospital to see her. The nurse tells them she really shouldn't move since she got her face burnt. They weren't severe, which is some insane luck considering how she had vodka and bleach inside her stomach. But okay. She finds her face great, cause if Jeff does it, she'll love it. You know, if Jeff jumped off a bridge, do you think she'd jump right before him just to cushion his fall? Anyways, when we get home, Nina's mother hears something coming from Nina's room. And she somehow got an entire high schooler in her room without making a single noise. Anyways, Nina's mother says the stupidest line. No, Nina, you've become a monster! You have killed someone. So, you weren't concerned when she was covered in blood earlier? Okay. Killing people when they run is funny. And as you expect, she kills her mom and her brother, but not before she says her catchphrase, because, you know, every killer needed a catchphrase. Go to sleep, my prince. And that is the end. Jesus Christ, that was a slog to get through. It took me 4 days on and off to actually write this part. And, wow. Honestly, Nina is probably one of the worst creepypastas I think I've ever read, since it's literally a worse version of a already terrible story. It's not coherent, it sounds like parody at points, and in general just feels like stealing at worst. But besides that, I really don't hate this story. Honestly, it was obviously made by an edgy kid who just did something dumb. It's honestly not that bad. The creator of Nina, Alagotic12, I think that's how you say it, is actually an artist on DeviantArt, and they make some good shit. And the best part, they kept Nina, which is honestly pretty admirable in my opinion. If you got some extra money, go commission them, and hey, tell them I sent you. Anyways, I think that's gonna be basically it. But before anything, I kind of want to briefly touch upon Slenderman's, like, fan OCs and, like, fanfics. Or not really fanfics, just really their OCs. Splenderman is made by Neil Cicierega? Like, Neil Cicierega from Lemon Demon? And basically, he's a walking antidepressant, which is actually pretty wholesome. Tenderman is actually made by a defunct Tumblr user, I Lack Tact, who basically is a self-absorbed fashion icon. And the last one I want to talk about is Offender Man. let's get to end card. Anyways, I think that's going to be it. I was gonna touch upon My Little Pony creepypastas, but I feel like that would be better in a video talking about lost episode creepypastas or something. I don't know if you guys want me to, but if you want, I'll do like a second video of this where I look over, you know, like lost episode creepypastas, or maybe more into the Slender Man mythos. But yeah, next video, I don't know what I want to really do. Mostly this video was just kind of a break from all the Roblox stuff I've been doing, since I kind of want to just distance myself more from Roblox as shit, like, you know, I actually like and want to talk about. I'm going to do it on a certain uncle, if you know what I'm saying. But, yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, and, if you got it this far, thanks. Please leave a like, do the YouTube shit. Thanks, and, God bless your soul. Let's go. Bye.